Hey guys, here with Roxanne Richard, trusted friend, trusted attorney. Roxanne, we've been doing this together for a while, right? And we've seen all kinds of things change in the market. And it's funny because you wonder at each pendulum swing, is it really that different, or is it just more media and social media making everybody think it's more profound? We're hearing that we're among a shift, right? We're feeling it. That's not doom and gloom from where I'm sitting, but talk to us about your experience, what you see. We don't expect you to have a crystal ball, but more state of the market and the pros and cons of what you're seeing come across your desk at this point.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Julie. We have been doing this for a long time, and it's not the first time we've seen this shift at all happen. I think there are some unique things to this particular shift, or at least the perception, right? And as a smart person once told me, perception is reality, right? And particularly with COVID. And unusual or unplanned during COVID, we were busier than we've ever been. People were focused on their homes. They were all cooped up in their homes. They were looking at the things around their homes, expansion, their mortgage interest rate, whether or not they wanted to move closer to family. The impetus for all that, started. And I think that where we're at now is people have seen that shift. And everybody's back for the most part. They're outside. They're enjoying family and friends again. And so now we're starting to see that shift where they're really just thinking about where they're at. The pendulum, I think, at the height, right? The seller market was, as we call it, the seller market, very demanding. Very lopsided, right? Buyers didn't feel like they had the opportunity to negotiate. Sellers felt like they had all the power, and the market reacted to that and responded in that way for a very long time.
Quickly and sharply.
And I think that what happens is, as the pendulum shifts, it's kind of interesting to watch, right? Because sellers are complaining about different things now. Roxanne, my neighbor got $100,000 over asking. I didn't get $100,000 over asking. 50 people didn't show up at my open house. And my response is pretty simple. You need one.
And you can only take one.
You can only take one. You can only sell your house one time. So make sure that you're well positioned to have that great transaction with the one buyer that you need. I think people have gotten caught up in all of it. On the buyer side, people have been waiving inspections and mortgages despite needing those things, right? And wanting to have those things. And so when you're coming out of the lopsided shift, you have this middle ground where people have been in their contracts now for, it's typical of 30 to 45 day window, right? So people that are 15 days into the beginning of their window, they're feeling that too. And so now they're having second thoughts, right? They're worried about, did I overpay? Because now I see house prices going down. I see things sitting on the market. Or, oh, this other house just came on. And so they're worried about that. They're concerned about it. They're trying to find ways to get out of their contracts. Right? Because they feel like they now have a better opportunity to negotiate. It creates a world of challenges. It creates challenges for every professional in the transaction. The mortgage person, the realtor, the attorney, the clients. Right? They see interest rates going up. They're trying to figure out everything that they can do to keep those interest rates nailed in. I'm sort of talking to people around the office of don't take the negative and then all of a sudden it's positive, right? But take the negative and give it perspective. All this mortgage company news of layoffs, right? Well, let's not overlook that they inflated their labor force so much with not only the purchase boom but the refi boom, right? Sellers may not be getting all this money over asking, but that was falsely inflated. And many of our clients who are sellers and buyers, right, it's going to balance out. Interest rates at 2.75 and 3%, that was phenomenal. No one expected that to stick around, right? So rather so much than focus on, geez, we're changed from where we were, we're changed from what was a market that we knew was not sustainable. Right? Now, though, as the pendulum switches, it's okay to have a home inspection. It's okay for a seller to say, I'm going to get a strong value for my house with a good expectation of product, right? So at the end of the day, there's always opportunity. Prior to this year, we're still seeing, second to last year, this is projected to be the highest number of home sales since 2007. We're still projected to see a 5 to 6% pricing growth. Supply and demand is still there. In our area, I always look at
economically, when we were, say, 2010, 2009, and the market was certainly in a different position, where commercial and corporate relocation virtually halted in the United States, Boston area was still growing. Between our medical system, our hospitals, our universities, people still want to come here. For our suburban area, now we've got Boston, Providence, Worcester job markets that still make it go. The point is, people move. There's always an opportunity. People seem to be so focused, what kind of market is this? Seller's market or buyer's market? It depends what you're doing. And so rather than take anything so generalized, talk to the professionals. Look at how do you fit into that equation, and don't believe every neighbor story as being the general common ground of that's everything that it should be. We're seeing an expected interest rate increase. Expected to settle down too, and these are still relatively healthy rates. I mean, it's my thing is more like calm down a little bit. It's not all fear-based as the news and media wants you to think it is. And close to 50% of Americans, close to 50%, that's a huge number, have equity in their homes. So to think we're going to go back, to all of a sudden everybody's foreclosing, the data doesn't match up. We are far different than we were this last time the pendulum threatened to swing, but it doesn't mean it's swinging to these areas of despair, right? So I think it's really important to put not just perspective, but data to it. We are not 2008. None of it's built on that. And where we were last year was not really that normal or sustainable.
Well, the reality is events cause people to buy and sell homes.
Right.
They get married. They get divorced. They have children. They have parents that come to live with them. Those things still are going to happen.
Right.
And they're still going to move that market forward.
Right.
Right? So that's just the reality. They may not move it at lightning pace. They may not have to buy, sell, and close in 12 days because someone thinks that's important to them.
Right.
But those events are always going to happen.
And our market always moves.
And our market always moves and adjusts towards that.
And so I think, the take home I would want people to have is one, perspective, but two, don't wrap your head around such an extreme, right? The market doesn't always work in extremes. This is a more balanced, a healthier, and a little more time to have a conversation and make a thoughtful evaluation to what works for you. So, we don't want to say that the market's changing every day, but that's what the market does. This is not the first time the market's shown a change. That's our economy, that's life, and the real estate market is so pivotal to so much of our general economics. So, the take home, consult a professional. If you want to see how your scenario, your life event helps get you in or out of the market, give us a call. We're happy to give you a personalized interpretation of how the market could work for you opportunistically. As always, we love having you here. We love your input. We love your calm perspective. And certainly, if there's anything she or I can do to help you, give us a call.
Have a great day.